What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Lex Alexas. Today it's Friday. It is our championship score predictions for match day 36. We've got crucial games deciding potentially the top 6 and the relegation picture as well. This is going to be a very crucial weekend of championship football, and I cannot wait to actually see all the games take place. I've got a couple of things to say. I mean, where can I begin? I've got to say a huge thank you to all of you for pushing me to 1,000 subscribers. I didn't think I'd get it this soon, to be honest, this season. I thought end of the season will be a good target, but within about 10 game weeks left, we managed to get it. So I can only say thank you, guys. I'm very sorry I've not posted a lot, and I've not done a lot to celebrate and promote my achievement. I've just been very busy from university, but I promise you, when that is all over, we are most definitely celebrating and pumping some more content on this channel. I can only thank you guys for pushing me there. And in terms of the Let's Say Football prediction leagues, if you want to guys check the updated standings, make sure you check out my latest community post. But if you guys like what we see, please give a video a like. It does tremendously help. Let's aim for 15 likes. I'd be unbelievably appreciative. Please also do hit subscribe, because we're now pushing to our next target. I mean, 1,100, I guess. Let's try and get to there as soon as we can. That'd be absolutely amazing. And please share this channel as well, because that's how we're going to grow together as a community. But without any further ado, let's start predicting these weekend's games. So the first game to predict is Huddersfield and Peterborough, and it's a Friday game because Huddersfield and then Nottingham Forest, who will be predicting next, they got to play against each other on Monday night for an FA Cup game, and the winner of that game will get Liverpool. So it'll be a fantastic FA Cup quarter-final tie with one of those two teams. But with this game, Huddersfield and Peterborough, Huddersfield are definitely going to be the team, most likely to get something. Both teams have actually got the longest streak in terms of form. So Huddersfield got the longest unbeaten streak, and Peterborough have got the longest winless streak. So both teams are carrying a really big streak on their hands, but obviously for contrasting reasons. Huddersfield up to 3rd. They could really push for Bournemouth in those top 2 places if Bournemouth drop points this weekend. They've got a tough game against Preston. Peterborough, I mean, they just got to pick up as many points as they can, really, to be honest, because if they're not careful, they could be up to 11 points adrift from safety if things don't go their way this weekend. Based on the squads and the players that they've got available, I think Huddersfield would definitely have the edge in this game, despite Peterborough having some players back like Coulson and potentially Clark Harris. I think it will still be a Huddersfield win. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Huddersfield. Fifa's gone for a 2-1 away win to Peterborough, unbelievably. Next game is Sheffield United versus Nottingham Forest. I mean, this is probably one of the games of the season so far in terms of its significance with the top 6. Both teams are outside of the top 6, but if results go their way, both of them can actually be in the top 6 by the end of this game week. Now, Sheffield United and Nottingham Forest, if they both win those games, they'll definitely increase the chances of them staying in the top 6 after this game week's done. And I think it'll be a close game. I mean, Sheffield United have got a very intimidating home record. They've won 5 of their last 6 home games, in fact, unbeaten at home for quite some time. With the squads available, I know they're not going to have Brice Samba available yet. Mbeso and Graben still injured for Nottingham Forest. And I think Sunday Burge and I also think Gibbs White will be recalled for Sheffield United as well. It makes me think that Sheffield United could make the difference here. But Sheffield United did lose a game last time against Millwall where they were a little bit slack. I think at home Sheffield United would be better, but I think Forest would manage to keep them at bay. I can't decide between the two teams personally, so I'm going to sit on the fence and say 1-1, and Fifa's actually going to agree with me. Next game is Fulham versus Blackburn. So this will have horrible memories for Blackburn Rovers fans. Obviously, when they played against Fulham last time at Ewood Park, they lost 7-0. It was a humiliating defeat. That Van Heck red card did not help their chances at all. I mean, what a journey Van Heck has gone from getting a red card in that game, and in their last game that Blackburn played against QPR, he wins man of the match, which is a brilliant turnaround in Van Heck's season for me. Fulham, though, they still will be very, very dangerous. I think this is definitely going to be Blackburn's hardest game in terms of their last couple of games in the season. One thing that's a bit fortunate with them is that they're in a reasonably good position that even if they lose and, you know, other teams below them will win games, they'll still be in the top 6. But they can't afford to drop too many points. They do have a really, really tough run in at the end of the season. Fulham would definitely be wanting to try and continue their run, you know, trying to increase their gap from Bournemouth at least. As a prediction, I mean, for the fact that Fulham have kept 3 clean sheets in a row against Blackburn in their meetings, I'm going to predict another one. I'm going to go for 2-0 Fulham, mainly due to the fact that Rothrow and Ben Brereton I don't think will be available for Blackburn. So I think Fulham would definitely outscore them. And Fifa's actually gone for 2-0 Blackburn, which honestly would not surprise me for how crazy this season's been. Next is Bristol City versus Birmingham. It seems, you know, a little bit underwhelming, their position. Bristol City in 17th, Birmingham in 20th. Birmingham are one of the very few teams who have not won 10 games so far this season. And in fact, only Barnsley and Peterborough, I believe, have won less games than Birmingham have this season, which I think has been a real issue for Birmingham. Bristol City, for me, their away form has actually been the reason why they've not been able to progress so much. And I remembered at the start of the season, I was praising their away form, but it's gone full circle now, and now I'm praising their home form, where in the start of the season, it was non-existent. So Bristol City completely turned things around. They had a very unlucky defeat for me against Coventry, though. They definitely were the better side for me against that Coventry side. Birmingham, of course, managed to lose their last game as well. In fact, they've lost 4 games in their last 6 games, and that was against Huddersfield, where I do fear for them because their defensive injuries have not helped. I don't think they're going to have any recognised centre-backs. One positive is that I think Taev Chong could return and start for Birmingham, which I think will be very exciting. Bristol City, I think, could reintroduce Matty James. I think with the squads available, I have a little bit more confidence in Bristol City as a prediction. I'm going to go for 2-1 Bristol City, despite Birmingham have a much stronger record. And Fifa's going to say 1-0 Birmingham. Next game is Derby versus Barnsley. I said that this was a crucial game regarding the bottom 3, and this is the game I'm referring to. Derby and Barnsley are 23rd against 22nd. I mean, Barnsley, if they win this game and Reading lose their game, they will be 3 points behind Reading with a game in hand. I believe that game in hand is against Blackpool, but regardless, it's the fact that Barnsley can get this close to getting out of the relegation zone is quite mad. But Derby, I feel, need to win more than anyone. I mean, obviously, things have been going, you know, a bit AWOL in terms of off the pitch stuff, and I think they've done very, very well to try and move on professionally. But they've had a really bad couple of form, you know, in this month, especially with 3 defeats in a row. But their home form on the whole is very, very good. I think Barnsley would definitely be a huge test, and Barnsley, of course, did beat Derby in a reverse fixture last time. As a prediction, I am going to edge Derby only just. I think they may go back to winning ways. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Derby, and FIFA has gone for a 1-1 draw. Next game is Hull versus West Brom. I mean, Steve Bruce is turning to Hull, but he would probably not even want to return to any team at the moment because West Brom are just completely being turned over, whether it's home or away. I mean, West Brom have not lost a single home game, you know, until they lost one against Preston, and then they've lost back-to-back home games. I mean, it's unbelievable, really, to be honest, how far West Brom have fallen in the season, considering they were in the top 3 for quite a lot of it. They could fall down pretty much as far down as 15th if results don't go their way, and that's unbelievable to know that West Brom can fall that low. And the problem is not the chance creating, it's the conversion rate. I think I saw a stat that their XG is -20, you know, worse off compared to their Premier League season when they got relegated, which is unbelievable. Now, they're playing against a Hull side, which they've been a little bit hit and miss, but they did win a really good game last time against Peterborough. They looked very, very good in that game. And despite Hull losing their last 3 home games, West Brom have lost their last 7 away. And honestly, right now, I've not really done this a lot. In my predictions, I'm thinking, okay, this is when West Brom need to win. I'm going to actually say that West Brom continue to lose with Steve Bruce. This would be 5 defeats and 6 with Steve Bruce in charge, which is not great. I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory to Hull. I never predict Hull to win a game, so I'm going to predict them to win in this game. And Fifa's gone completely AWOL with their prediction, has predicted 4-0 to West Brom, unbelievably. Next game is Middlesbrough versus Luton. Now, this is another game similar with Forest and Sheffield United, a game that could really decide how the top 6 is going to look like after match day 36. One thing I'll say with both of these teams, both teams have done really well with their form. I mean, Luton are in the top 6 right now, 5 wins in their last 6 games. Middlesbrough have fallen off just a tiny bit because they've lost back-to-back away games. But one thing I'll say about Middlesbrough, their home record is immaculate. 6 wins in a row. Both teams were involved in the FA Cup as well. Middlesbrough knocking out Spurs after extra time. Unbelievable season that Middlesbrough having. And they've got to play my team Chelsea at the Riverside as well, which I don't think they'll be feeling, you know, not that confident, to be honest, based on the fact they've knocked out Man United and Spurs. And with Luton, they gave Chelsea one hell of a game, and I gotta say, I felt a little bit bad for them, to be honest. Obviously, their goalkeeper Steer got injured, and I think, you know, this could be a problem for them, especially if he cannot be fit in time for this game against Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, with their form, at home at least, I think that's going to make me back them. I'm going to go for a close game still. I'm going to go for 2-1 Middlesbrough. And Fifa's gone for 1-0 Middlesbrough. Next game is Preston versus Bournemouth. I'm excited because Preston were the first team this season to beat Bournemouth. Bournemouth just cannot hack playing against Preston. I think it's their physicality that Bournemouth just don't like, and I think that does affect their squad. But Bournemouth's squad is very much changed from when they did lose to Preston last time. It was a very entertaining game last time where both these sides did play against each other, and I think it'll be really entertaining. But one thing I will say about Preston's home form, it's not that great. They've drawn 5 of their last 6, but they are winless in their last 6 home games as well. Bournemouth have been a little bit hit and miss in their recent form, but they have picked up 4 wins in a row. But 3 of those 4 games have been winning by a 1-goal margin. Obviously, they had to rely on Stoke going down to 10 men to try and beat them at the Vitality. So Bournemouth still, I don't think, are necessarily playing to their potential, but they're still finding wins. And against this Preston side, God, this is difficult because Rhino obviously has, you know, drawn a lot of games. You know what? I am going to go for a 2-1 away victory to Bournemouth. Only just. I was this close to predicting a 1-1 draw, and that's exactly what FIFA's going to predict as well. I just don't think there'll be a lot to separate them, but I think Bournemouth, based on the new players they've got, they might be able to get something from Preston's squad. Next up is QPR going up against Cardiff City. I think this one will be a really close game, actually. I think this will be quite entertaining. Now, if we look at the form table, you would dare say that Cardiff are ahead of QPR in terms of points in their, you know, last 6 games in terms of their form. So QPR definitely need to make sure that they cannot afford to drop too many points. You know, they're only within 3 points of dropping out, and in fact they could fall out of the top 6 entirely if results don't go their way. That is how tight that region is in the table, which is absolutely unbelievable. Cardiff will be feeling, you know, very confident for the fact that, you know, Morrison has recently signed a new contract, and I think he has generally improved things with Cardiff, and I think they're going in the right direction, which I'm really excited by. Cardiff against Derby, I think tiny bit fortunate at times, but defensively they looked really good, and they managed to make their one chance count. A brilliant goal actually by Ikpeazu as well. So I'm excited to see how this game goes. They looked a bit leggy against Blackburn, but they did have a full week to recover. Cardiff, of course, did have to play midweek against Derby, so maybe QPR will be feeling more refreshed, and as a result of that, I'm tempted to say QPR win, but they are missing players. Sanderson still will be suspended. I'm going to go for 1-1 draw, actually, and FIFA's actually going to agree with me. Next game is Reading versus Millwall. I think this is intriguing too. Reading, of course, with Paul Ince, they've only had 2 games with him in charge at this moment, a win and a loss. I mean, those back-to-back wins that Reading had recently, they managed to increase the gap from the bottom 3 by 6 points, having, you know, got a game in hand as well, which is really good too. But Millwall, their form has really been turned around recently. I've been really impressed of what they've managed to do. They've won 4 games in a row, and that is so typical Millwall as well. They go through a winless one, and then they go through a winning streak. They are very inconsistent. And away from home, I don't traditionally back Millwall. It's their home form which I tend to feel more confident with Millwall with. But they had a really good away win last time against Derby, and it was a very difficult game as well with Derby for how good they were at home. Reading, I think, will be a very interesting test. I think Lucas João and Swift working together will definitely be their biggest threat, but if Jed Wallace is around, he could be the difference. I think Reading's defence for me is going to be a bit too leaky, so as a prediction, I'm going to go for 2-1 Millwall. And Fifa's gone for a 0-0 draw. Next game is Stoke versus Blackpool. I'm excited for this game. So, Stoke and Blackpool both find themselves in a mid-table position. And in fact, they're only separated with each other by only 1 point. Somehow, Stoke falling all the way down to 15th at the moment. They've had back-to-back defeats recently, both by, 2-1 scorelines against them, against Luton and Bournemouth. So, they are only just losing in these tight games against these teams right at the top of the table, but these tiny margins are making the full difference. Now against this Blackpool side, where Blackpool have not won away from home for quite some time, in fact their win is away from home in their last 6, Stoke could capitalise on that, because I do think Stoke at home in general are a little bit better. They have dropped a couple of points very, very recently at home, and they need to really get out of that habit of dropping points. I think they can see Blackpool as a little bit of an opportunity, although Blackpool did have a brilliant result last weekend, beating Blackpool by 4-1. I think this is going to be a draw. I'm going to stay on the fence for this one. I'm going for 1-1, and FIFA's gone for a 2-0 Stoke win. And the final game to predict is Swansea versus Coventry. Of course, Swansea did play against West Brom in the Monday night game, and I tell you what, it was a brilliant performance. I gotta say, I think it was Swansea's best away performance I've seen from them for quite some time. In fact, probably ironically, their best away performance since playing the team they've got to play against now, Coventry City. So Swansea have not really turned up a lot away from them, but when they can, they are really, really good. And in fact, both their goals were really nice goals as well. Coventry managed to get a last-minute draw against Preston. I don't know how. Fabio Tavares with a 98th minute equaliser, proving that you have to stay for the full game to see every single highlight. Now, what I will say, Swansea at home, I do back them a lot more than their away form, and Coventry, same here really, to be honest. With their away form, I'm not too sure, but their home form, I think, is substantially better. And I think Swansea, with the fact that they've got a bit of a boost from that last game, and I think in general Swansea have been channeling in and out of a win and a loss, so it wouldn't surprise me if they actually do lose to Coventry, but I think they might slightly edge it. I think they may have a difference. Of course, Dabo won't be available for getting that red card, and for the fact that Swansea have not got any absentees and they can put a full squad out, I think that might edge them. So I'm going to go for 2-1 Swansea, and FIFA's gone for a 0-0 draw. So guys, that is all my predictions done for the Championship. Make sure you comment your predictions in the comments down below so you can have a chance to win some points on the Let's Select Football Prediction League. On the left-hand side of the screen are my Premier League predictions. Now, of course, I said 1,000 subs will do a Premier League prediction league. I'm going to hold on to that till next season because I think we don't have enough games to really substantially show any sort of competitiveness there. So next Premier League season, we'll do a Premier League prediction league. But once again, thank you guys for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. It's truly appreciated. Please like the video if you've not done so, and please share this channel as well. It really helps. But I'll wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary for the end of this video. And as always, I'll see you guys soon. Take care, everyone.